Will you please welcome our buddy Harriet Rose?
Hey. View from abroad. At 16 years old, one of my Greyhound runaway adventures was going to Montreal. I learned early on being honest was not the route for a runaway to get employment. I had to up my game to play the game. Eleanor Deuce was born. My first place off the Greyhound bus was a youth hostel. No matter where I go, I always run into someone I knew before. There were two guys from Brooklyn that checked in as I walked in. Joe and Sal, a really happy surprise. They'd come for a weekend for a music concert. Joe I met in Greenwich Village where he was a waiter and Sal was his wingman. They were both 5'5" tall, one Jewish, the other Italian. Best friends for life, but they fought like a married couple. I hung out with them for a day. It was like an episode of the Three Stooges. They had driven up in Joe's mom's Buick. So we were going to drive all over and see the sights and kind of cruise to, Montreal and eat. And we found this Vietnamese place on Rue de Bleury Street. I have never, and I don't think I ever will see in my life, Joe, in order to park in between two cars, hit both cars. Joe didn't care. He was getting in that spot. It was like, bam, bam, I'm in. I mean, I've never seen anyone like that. I really liked them, and I felt so safe with them. I was sorry that, they were in a runaway and they had a real life, and I didn't. So I needed to get a job, and to solve the place to live and job problem, I got a job as a nanny. So I worked for a very wealthy couple, and they hired me, and I knew that they knew I was underage because I also became their maid too at the same wage. On my day off, I would take the metro to St. Laurent Street. Walking on the cobblestone streets, I could smell the warm bread baking and hear the apples from the danishes sizzling. The old Frenchmen would sometimes tip their hat at me, and the young ones would honk their horn. Either I was cute or jaywalking. While I was taking the metro back to the suburbs, I met these fun, beautiful French girls. They were in their late 20s. They loved my accent and my big Jersey hair. They invited me back. I had big Jersey hair. They invited me back to their big flat for a party. They said they were having a potluck with their friends. Wine, meat pie, and pastries. I was there. I mean, I was like totally in on this one. I went to their flat, and it reminded me of like an old movie. There were already people drinking and eating and laughing. Most looked like ex-hippies that just cleaned up well. There was one lady holding her 3-month-old baby. She kept looking at me, then got my attention and wanted to talk to me alone. I must have been a priest in a past life because everyone always wants to confess to me. I'm fine with that, but I'd like somebody to pass the collection plate because Mother Harry would like to eat. She sat me down and said, "You have a gentle face. I'm feeling guilty, and I'm not sure of telling my husband tonight something I did in the past." I said, "What did you do?" She said, "I lived in Japan and made millions of dollars, which I couldn't take out of the country, doing live sex shows on stage. When I left that life, I went back to Montreal and I met my husband and I had a baby." I said, "Do you have any diseases?" She said, "No." I said, "Leave the boa behind. Don't look back." Every time I've ever looked back, I've always stepped back.